Voilà, bonjour à toutes et à tous. Bienvenue dans ce premier webinaire organisé par REM sur l'initiative de trois de nos partenaires startup. Je vous présente Maxime de Sparrow, Maxime de Lookmove et puis Thibaut de Proptech. Ces trois personnalités du monde PropTech suisse nous ont sollicité pour mettre à profit de notre communauté leur expertise. Et puis, étant donné qu'on va pas prendre trop de retard, je leur propose d'ores et déjà d'introduire le sujet. La présentation se fera en anglais. Et puis, je reviendrai en fin de session pour vous donner quelques informations et surtout vous souhaiter une belle fin d'année. Voilà, place à toi, Maxime de Sparrow, pour nous présenter un peu le contexte de ce webinaire.
Merci, Philippe. Merci beaucoup, enchanté. Thank you very much. It's a great opportunity to have you all here. My name is Max. I'm co-founder of Sparrow Analytics. We're a Swiss-based startup. And with your permission, I will share screen and we will start our webinar. So today's subject, essentially, it's our capability to provide already today a very important part that was missing from the ability to analyze and use in real estate and PropTech industry. And thanks to the today's capacity of the world, the servers, the speed we can provide once we measure and once we deliver this information. So the first question basically is why we need the environmental data. And I will give you and take you through a little bit of sad statistics, but then we will turn into more positive facts. But of course, we all know that today we have a problem of air pollution and other problems in the cities. And in the worldwide, we have very sad numbers where the air pollution and a lot of health risks are taking place and people are literally dying. Of course, in Switzerland, in the same perspective, we have much better situation. Switzerland is a clean and great country, but still, even at our local level, we have less scalable, but problems as well, which represented at the cases of different health problems, hospitalization, and even premature deaths. It's already proven everyone can get access to this information very, very openly. Air pollution causes serious health problem. You can by yourself maybe also remember once you at the train station or walking through some streets with very dedicated and pointed pollution, you can feel not really good, but people which are approximately in Switzerland 30 to 40% are represented with respiratory diseases, heart condition problems, cancer, children asthma, bronchitis, allergies, mental health, and of course, pregnancy complication risk. All these risks are extremely important and being affected by the air pollution. Our goal and our mission was to establish a startup which will try first to create a diagnosis and create a proper measurement of all those pollution hazards instead of trying to solve them without data. So we established Sparrow, which is moineau in French, and we claim that every city must have Sparrow. We established in 2021, and very quickly we gained a lot of traction and a lot of support from academia. We work with EPA in Geneva. We work constantly and continuously with EPFL, with ETH, IMEC, MIT, and many other universities across the world, but in Switzerland specifically. We obviously got a lot of government support and government trust because we created an approach which aligned with government reglementation and needs. We create a lot of also partnership with different UN sections in order to create our approach, not just local in Switzerland, but also scalable for other countries. And of course, Our success and our efforts are being noticed recently in the Swiss technology startup. We won top 100 in clean tech category by the votes that come from you, from everyone. It was a popular vote. But the most important part is that our approach is extremely unique, and that's why we could create a patent pending technology. We already tested and be present in 50 countries and 30 cities, and we drive with our technology millions of kilometers and collected billions of data points. So what we essentially created is a device. It's a hardware. It's a piece of hardware. It's a box which include of different sensors, and we measure 25 parameters at the same time. We measure air pollution, which consists of traffic, gases, or just particles. We measure noise exposure, we measure road quality, and we can identify different heat islands and the problems that located at the street level. Our measurements are very precise and have a very high resolution. We measure every second and every minute, depending on type of the measurement. And essentially, our idea is to provide information at the very hyperlocal level. In order to achieve the coverage and collect the data in a very proper way, we test different type of vehicles like taxis or public transport. But finally, we realize that the best way is to have postal cars, because postal cars will always come to the same place twice a day, and they will monitor actually the problems that we detecting. And March of this year, we signed contracts with Swiss Post, and we already equip 5 cities, Geneva, Lausanne, Bern, Basel, and Zurich, with the grand areas. So we're covering like surrounding and communities. And today we have coverage of 500 postal codes with 2.1 million citizens in Switzerland. So essentially, we provide data already for the first phase into a very important amount of population and very important amount of communities. Next year, which is upcoming year, we aim to cover remaining urban areas. So we will cover close to 80 to 85% of the urban areas in Switzerland. As you can see, our device is mounted very easily. If you're in Geneva, Lausanne, you can try to check the vehicles, and you will see in many cases our device on top of the roof. In a very simple words, today, when the city has no sparrows, it looks like on the left side, the map, you have no data, just map and just information about the traffic. On the right side, you immediately, with our drive, you have information about traffic pollution, Sahara sand, if it arrives, constructions, and many other things related to the pollutions that we measure. When we collect the data, one of the important things is not just the data, but how we create the products out of it, because it's important to address not just the raw information, which is very professional, can be understood only by air pollution specialists. We wrapped and packaged the data in a very interesting way that we show in our products. The first and very accessible and immediate product is Air Quality Index. It's a kind of a weather approach where you have a forecast and the real situation, and it's already can be found in the screens in top 5 cities where we present it. So the data is hyper local. It's a pollution about Geneva, Lausanne. It's really, really dedicated for the place where we measure pollution. And in some cases, the air pollution in Geneva can be lower than Lausanne and vice versa. And this index is aligned with both European and Swiss governmental approach. All the colors and numbers are very much aligned, and we can simply create a very clear channel. We also provide this information free of charge, because for us it's important that people will realize and get education about air pollution and get awareness how air pollution affecting their lives, because they can immediately compare with the planned activity. For example, if I see Geneva Bonn, qualité d'air, it means that the air quality is good. I can take my jogging and I can take my kids outside and walk. Essentially, if we want to go deeper, and it's important for many people today in Switzerland, one of the products that we created based on the already 6 months collected data is air quality certificates. It's a kind of report which usually provides for 3 months. Based on the address, very precise address, we can show how the pollution was based and created in the evolution of the pollution at this particular address. And the reason for that during the 3 months, only maybe 1 week you can find pollution in this place, and the rest of the time was all right, or vice versa. And it's important to understand where exactly the pollution is exposed. Of course, we provide also very professional and very deep tech tools, which absolutely conclude from raw data and can be provided in the form of reports, in the form of API, and many other things which related to the current ability of different platforms to digest and adopt our information. For sure, we also prepared our data to be implemented in any type of digital platform. It can be either just a personalized notification coming from Swisscom as a premium SMS, which alert people ahead of Sahara Cent or any other pollution event. It can be a navigation application, which we already created, and it can be used to choose alternative routes and reduce personal exposure for the pollution during the ride with the bicycles or just simple sport activity. We're also adding our data for the health tracking, and because there's a lot of users of different outdoor activities. And of course, real estate. Real estate, it's our subject and our task, one of the primary sector which we're addressing our information for. We aim to equip every apartment, every property with air quality index and deep analytical data, which can be used on many, many scales. So when we started, we actually turned many dreams into reality, because one of the things which we can notice is that air pollution is transparent. We cannot see it. And once we did one of our pilots in Antwerp, we essentially lead the ability to create a colorful schematical presence of the pollution on top of the streets. What you can see here is a street map and street view vehicles from Google, which matched sparrow data together on the street with a very real insights with the immediate preview in the colorful approach. It means that we're capable to provide color for the pollution, and by that announce and create insightful approach for people in order that they will be able to make informative decisions. Same story we had for the data collected in New York, for example. Here, what you can see is essentially air pollution that was collected at the street level, but converted into 3D modeling, and we created essentially a digital twin of the pollution disposed in Manhattan area, only with 2 devices, and we work together with Esri Maps, which is a great GIS partner for us. As you can see, it's PM10 per Manhattan, and the data was created, and the approach was created in order to create a proper visualization of the data in a way that it will be clear and understood for everyone how it can be seen on the streets from the pollution point of view. So red, of course, as you can see, it's a very high level of pollution, and it can be dedicated by every building, and we can understand what is the evolution of the pollution at the street level in a very hyper-local approach. I would like also to show you another example of how basically we mount the device on top of the vehicle. This is a postal car. So this is essentially the device that mounted, and just for your information, if you would like to make sure that you can see and be able to notice and just understand how it's been implemented and done. So here we come into the second part of our webinar. Basically, once we establish the presence of the devices, we collected data for the 6 months. We understood that today there is plenty of niche and sectors which we can use to implement our information. And our main goal is to make citizens informed about the air pollution, so they will be able to take informative decision and essentially change their life in order to create less exposure and better, healthier, and more comfortable life in cities. So obviously, behind every residential real estate or commercial real estate or any real estate, there's always always people that are standing behind the users, the buyers, the clients, if you can call them whatever you wish, but they all live in cities. They sleep in their apartments. They're located in the schools, in the areas where there is indoor air quality problems, there's outdoor air pollution. So it's extremely important to provide this information in order to make informative decisions. So currently, we can literally list every part and every aspect of the real estate and Proptech areas where this data can be implemented. And from that perspective, I would like to show how easy this whole story works. So it's a very schematic and very simple approach where we show that from the moment we collect the data, we have basically three types of data. It's a real-time information. So it's possible to plug directly into our devices and have the dashboard, which will show how the data is collected and presented in real time. Then we have a near real time, which means within the 24 hours, because the pollution is normally stays nearly the same if we don't have a very high winds or humidity, for example. But within 24 hours, we remain within the same air pollution level. And then the most important data is historical data. And right now, historical data of 6 months that we have in Switzerland, it's already good enough in order to make a lot of evaluations and a lot of analytics in order to include this data into many decision-making processes. Of course, we then store this data in the big Amazon Big Data Server, and we create out of the storage different accesses. It can be possible to plug either into the server, or we can provide the ability to pull the data out. So there's plenty and flexible opportunity to use our data either with API or with dashboard, or we can provide a turnkey solution with all our products, or you can use your own platform and include our data in it. And of course, once the data is stored out of the storage, we can create data products, which, like I said, conclude of air quality index or air quality certificates. There is another two important things which I mentioned here, and it's how we mix and how we blend our data with a second party and the third party. In simple words, if you have information like cadastre based, or you have information about filters that have been used in ventilation system, all this information, when blended and mixed with our, create what we call actionable items. It means that if, for example, in some polluted area, there is pollution come from the traffic, companies that provide filters for the ventilation system for the buildings can essentially choose a very particular filter. And this filter will be serving much better and create much better air indoor, which means this is an actionable item that was made out of mix between our information and the second party information, and then the third party, which is governmental or community information which is available publicly. So it's important not just to use only independently our information, but also mix between different layers, and then we can create a very interesting insights. Here, what we can see, thank you for our great partner Sherlock Holmes, which were the first one to implement it's a pilot approach where we would like to show how basically we create very quick implementation. Essentially, what you can see here, it's a website with apartments, tenants that can get in and can go into the website apartment property. And essentially, as you can see, the air quality index is immediately here. You will see an ability to implement this as fast as possible. And basically, it's done almost in automatic way. At this point, we offer that information free of charge. Like I said, it's important for us to provide people with such important information without any obstacles and without any problem of reaching out. Once they click the icon of additional information, then they will get for the next layer, and then they will be able to get more information out of it. Additional point we wanted to mention is that there are plenty of providers today which create what we call analytics, and those analytics made from different data that like secondary data or third-party data, which we mentioned. In case of Roost partners that we all know, they use environmental solution data coming from satellites, for example. And as you can see, satellite data looks interesting, but very much not dedicated, and there is no great hyper granular approach. We create, in comparison to that map, as you can see, we have an extreme granularity with ability to address the data again at the building level or at the street level. And it's a hyper local real data. It's not just assumption or the data that were collected a few years ago, which this is the case in many situations. And currently in Switzerland, we already created two amazing partnerships. Thank you again for the guys that participating together with me at this webinar. And these partnerships already nearly done and will be introduced very soon, I guess still this year. As you can see, we already integrated air quality into the Proptech platform, where you can find it among other parameters, which creates a very complete use case and a very complete dossier, if you wish, for different properties. And we aim to use here more professional approach, not just AQI, but also add more additional parameters and provide ability to navigate and get an approach on the what we call cadastre based level. Another partner is, of course, Lookmove, which very natural partner for us because when you have listings, when you have data, it's very important to add and complete this data and listing with additional environmental data. And I will let both Lookmove and Proptech to introduce themselves quickly and also provide the information. Thank you very much. In these few images, you can see our achievements. We've been in many places in the world. We measure a lot of things, and currently in Switzerland, we represent the biggest and the largest coverage. Thank you. Thibaut, I would like you to take over.
Yes. Thanks a lot, Maxime, for this full introduction and an explanation about air quality index and everything you are doing at Sparrow. So we like it for Proptech. To everyone, so my Clément, I'm CEO and co-founder of Proptech.io. So we are a Swiss-based company in Geneva. And what we develop is a platform for real estate professionals to help them identify plot of land, analyze any building or any plot of land in Switzerland, and help them in their estimation approach. So basically, we are prospecting tools for real estate professionals. And what was interesting when we talk with Maxime, so I will just share my screen, is that at Proptech, we help real estate to identify interesting potential, but also to deeply analyze a plot of land or any building, or estimate any dwelling in real estate. And we always say that for evaluation and so on, so location is the key. And maybe you understand the three main factors of real estate is location, location, location. But if we go a little bit beyond than that, our main concern is to bring our customers the maximum of interesting data that they could use to better assess and to better evaluate any home in Sweden. So when we talk about the pollution, I think I can do the parallel that a few years back, no one was discussing about energy. When you are buying a home, they don't care if it's gas or fuel oil and so on. Since a few years, everyone is asking about is there photovoltaic potential? Is it geothermal already installed? So energy become an essential part of real estate today. And I'm pretty sure that we are going in the same way for air pollution because people, is more and more aware about health issues especially in some non-city area. So this is why we start to talk with Speralytic to apply and get the API and to incorporate them in our application. So basically, what you see, it's a version of property. So if we go a little bit behind of the location, it's important to them to give them information about the environment, okay, that's surrounding the plot of land or surrounding the dwelling. So we give information about commodities, is there a restaurant on a transport or them. We give information about noise pollution. Okay, is the area very noise polluted or is it a very quiet area? We give also information about the sunlight potential because I say it's important for photovoltaic and so on. And what we bring now with Paralytics, it's the same information about the real pollution, so health pollution. And I think it's quite important and it's really nice to get this data because if we are talking about environment, noise, sunlight, if you go to the plot of land, if you go to the dwelling, any human can identify it, okay? You can hear the sound, you can see there is some sun, and if you take a look around, you can see the restaurants and so on. Issue is pollution, except if you are in big city who is very, very polluted. In Geneva, you didn't feel really the pollution. So if you are in this place, another place, you didn't feel very well if it's well polluted and polluted. So thanks to the data we get from Sparrow today, we can identify and give our customer an idea about is this place a good, let's say, place for health issue or is not a good place for health. So what you see, basically, it's we are here doing an estimation in Bordeaux in Geneva. So air quality today, it's in average, okay, it's normal. You have the scaling here, so basically A, B, it's kind of good, but this I'll let Max if you want to go back to discuss about this. But what was most important about this is that on the different, let's say, timeline that Maxime presented, what is important for real estate, it's more about the historical data. It's not really important that 2 days ago it was really polluted, or if 1 year ago it was really polluted. Okay, yeah. It's like the noise. If it's one time in a year, it's very noisy because it's a festival, it's okay, but it's always noisy. It could be very difficult for people living here. So for me, the best thing also that we show here, thanks to the API, if you see this scale, it's based on the daily, okay, from the morning to the afternoon to the evening. And you can see, for example, here that we are in Pont d'Arve, and the time where it's most polluted, it's 8 a.m. Then during the lunch and so on, it's going down, and after it will going up, when people start to leave and go back to your home. Then after, the answer, we can talk about this. There are many. Is there when, in average, you want to let your children play, outside. So better to do it during the lunchtime than doing uni on the morning. You can know when in this place you can go to do some running and so on and so on. If I just go 400 meters from this address, and this is where, ultra located data could be interesting. You see that the chart will look like quite the same, but not exactly the one. For example, here we are Redancé. On the morning, it's quite better than the previous one that was 400 meters. But here, during the afternoon, this is where we have the highest peak. Okay. And if we go to Lausanne here, we have Chemin des Trois Rois. So maybe a little bit far away from main area, in terms of car distribution. So here we see that the pollution is a little bit less than the two previous advice in Geneva. So I will stop here, but what I would like to show here is that I think air pollution will become more and more important in estimation and analysis of whatever location for real estate. And this is why, with the help of Sparatic, we are bringing it. So for our customer, you will see it this week live in our solution for all the area that is currently covered by Immospar. Thank you.
Thank you, Thibault. Just to add before we move forward, is that one of the important things that we're showing is non-polluted areas, which are in majority. And it's extremely important to show that the situation is also good because, you cannot claim that the location is okay if it's not measured. But non-polluted areas which are majority, because this is how it looks like almost everywhere. The problem is, like Thibaut showing, is in dynamics, and for whom this is important, then we can take it further. But like I said, many locations are not polluted, but it's important just to measure and to show. Thank you, Thibaut. Thank you very much. Let's move forward, Max.
Yes, hello everybody. Thank you, Max. Thank you, Thibaut, and thank you, Philippe and Dorian, for organizing. So I'm Maxime Danibert, the founder and CEO of Lookmove. So it's a real estate search engine in Switzerland only. We focus on listings, so the offer. And what we do is that we scan all the market in real time. We curate the data and we provide the best inventory in real time of listings of the offer. So I will share my screen. So this, can you see my screen, everyone? Yeah, perfect. So this slide was already presented by Maxime, but it's just quickly showing the extent of our data. So we scan all the portals and all the big agencies directly. We scan it daily, and we do a very advanced curation. So that's over 140 sources that we scan, around 600,000 listings daily. And after curation, we have 140,000 unique qualitative listings that we can use. So we are a team of 11 people since 2018, based in Switzerland and Poland. And we started to work with Sparrow Analytics, I think, with Max a couple of years ago, officially. We started to propose our data to our clients. So it's B2B clients, so big régies, gérants, real estate funds, banks, insurance groups, and so on, and also portals and some Proptechs. And the idea is, as Max explained, is to enrich the data to make it as useful as possible for our clients. But I really think that the Sparrow Analytics data goes further than the existing data about air quality because of the granularity and the zero latency. So you get it daily, and every time you need the data, you can have it, and you can analyze it on a longer period of time. So today it's 6 months, but soon it will be 12 months and so on, and you will have a good ratio and index of the air quality over time. And for people in real estate, we were talking a lot about professionals today, but if people search to rent or to buy a property for their family, I think it's extremely important if they have 2 or 3 options. This extra information could help them to make the right choice. Meaning that if there's 3 properties, if one of them is polluted, one is medium, and one is absolutely not polluted all the time over the last 6 months, I think it could help people to make the right choice to rent or to buy. If they have this info very easily accessible, which is done by Max, it's very easy to action this data, to read it, to understand it. It's extremely simple. There's the color and the letters, and anyone can read it. And I think it could also impact the price of certain property. So if in the future some properties on a similar level in a slightly different area, let's say in Lausanne, if a property has a better index for air quality, there's a chance that the price could be a little bit higher if it's for rent or if it's for sale. So we had very good feedback from clients. So we gave the data ready to test to a few clients, and they have very, very good feedbacks about this air quality. It's something new, it's something extra, so people need to get used to read it and to use it and to propose it to their clients. But I think it's very important for the future. So where we can implement it within the Lookmove database. So first, it will be live next year in 2025 on lookmove.ch on our search engine. We will make it accessible to our users, but also in our database where we have also very good granularity by property type, by postcode. So the idea is to always propose this data, which is I think, Max, you will correct me, but the basic level is free for everybody. So it's the entry level, the AQI, the air quality index is totally free. So you can access it completely for free. And if you want more detailed information, you pay a little price, but it's a very, very fair price, according to us. What I like also about Property and Sparrow, and that's what we are trying to do also at Lookmove, is to bring more transparency to the data. historical leading data providers in Switzerland or anywhere in Europe, they have a lack of transparency. So they give you a number, they give you a median price, a quantile, a air quality index, and it's not explained. You don't know how it's calculated, where it's coming from, the date, what are the sources, and when it's dated. So what Max is doing, or Thibaut at Property and at Lookmove, we always give the full methodology, the source, the raw data, and we explain all the formulas, the methodology. So it's very transparent and there's no latency. So sometimes data providers have 3 to 6 months delays at Lookmove, at Sparrow, and I guess at Property also. We have very fresh data. You don't need to wait 3 months or 6 months to have the right metrics. So that's it for me, Max. I think we can move to the Q&A. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Max. Just wanted to precise what we provide at this point free of charge. This is exactly what you see on screens. It's air quality index in real time, geographically based, meaning so it's about, if it's in Geneva, it's about Geneva. Sometimes even Carouge, it will be in Carouge. But this information provided free of charge, very similar to weather forecasts. And then everything else, it's subscription mode or literally per project. And like you said, completely right, prices are very, very affordable and accessible because it's important to address this information for as large crowd as possible. Last point that I wanted to say is that at this point we aware about certain problematics of delivering our data for certain business projects, but we see a lot of positive feedbacks from businesses and corporations that willing already to use this data, from large corporations that want to address, for example, different environmental solutions for the employees, up to the brokers and people that literally want to use this information to show that by informing people, they're not showing bad sides of the product, but they being honest and being open with the things that they're providing and essentially contributing for the much better living and much comfortable lives in cities today. Thank you very much. Thank you, Thibaut. Thank you, Max. If we have any questions, please feel free. If
I will
not,
add just one thing, like for families with young kids or with people with health issues or older people with breathing issues and so on, I think to have a search, to enable a search when you can locate properties with very good air quality. Also, what Clément was saying about the noise and so on also is very important. But the air quality, which is invisible, is a very good indicator for people to make the right choice where to live. And if it's polluted one day or so on, it's not a big problem. But if you live there full time and you have low air quality for many months or many years, it could be a big issue on health.
Yeah. Absolutely. Just this morning, I had a meeting with a representative of OMS, and they really want to take this whole story of indoor and outdoor air quality with the respiratory diseases, with insomnia, sleep disorders, and many other problems into the health risk, every city to assess and make it literally kind of accessible for everyone. So I think our data is very important to not just justify these efforts, but also provide important insights. Because again, sometimes we can be in kind of a feeling that there is a problem, but it's not, and vice versa. We can stand up at the train station every day in the morning, but if we just move 10 minutes earlier, the situation might be much better. So this is where we come with the hyperlocal approach, with the very dedicated mapping and navigation and platforms and partners like yourself, because to deliver our data for the end clients and the end users, this is where you and the industry altogether come to help. So thank you, everyone. If there is no questions, thank you, Real Estate Meetings, Philippe, Dorian, everyone. It was a very pleasure. It's the first time where we literally discussed about the implementation. So I hope that next occasions will be much more attended and in real life, and we will be able to participate also in REM events and see where we stand from that perspective to create proper use case. Merci beaucoup. Merci, Philippe.
Okay, thank you very much, Maxime. Thank you very much, Maxime, and thank you very much, Thibault, for all the good information that you share today. Je vais continuer en français. Donc, on se réjouit, comme vous l'avez compris, de vous retrouver en présentiel, puisque les sessions en visioconférence, c'est bien pratique, mais on a toujours plaisir plutôt à se rencontrer. Donc, vous serez bientôt conviés à participer à un événement de rentrée des classes qui aura lieu le 21 janvier 2025 entre 17h et 20h à Lausanne. Et puis surtout, marquez bien dans vos agendas la première Real Estate Week qui prendra place au Swiss Tech Convention Center du 31 mars au 4 avril 2025. Voilà. Un grand merci à Dorian également pour l'organisation et puis à tous les participants pour votre présence. Et puis, passez une bonne période de fin d'année. Prenez soin de vous et puis retrouvons-nous tous en forme à partir de janvier pour de nouvelles aventures Proptech. Merci à tous et puis à bientôt.
Merci, au revoir.
Merci.
Merci.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Everyone. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.